Is Weathering with You worth your time? Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Northern Soul Reaper, and today I wanted to do a video on Weathering with You, a review on Weathering with You, which is the latest film from Makoto Shinkai, who is probably most known at this point as the director of the 2016 smash hit Your Name. Now, there are similarities between Weathering with You and his other works, but I also found some comparisons to some other films as well, so let's get right into the review. Weathering with You tells the story of Hina and Hodaka, two young teens who meet against the backdrop of a rain-soaked Tokyo. Without spoiling too much of the plot, Hodaka and Hina have a couple of chance encounters and eventually come to believe that Hina is a weather maiden, a young girl of legend who has the ability to influence the weather for better or for worse. And as with Shinkai's other work, there are elements, touches of the fantastical, the mystical, but the relationships were really allowed to shine through. Hina and Hodaka are young teens with problems, and they're both dealing with things, personal problems, and I really feel like over the course of the film we got to see them grow, and you know, they were grappling with maybe truths that they didn't want to admit to themselves or didn't want to accept, and I really feel like you got to see them grow over the course of the film. At times it's easy to forget that you're watching a film with any fantastical or mystical elements at all, and it's absolutely to the film's credit. You can find it almost easy to get lost in this rain-soaked Tokyo, watching a group of friends going about their business, and I really enjoyed that. It's something Shinkai manages to do. He blends the mundane with the fantastical, and he does it with such an effortless finesse that seems to be getting better and stronger from film to film as he goes on. Now, Hina and Hodaka are played by the fantastic Ashley Boecher and Brandon Engman in the English release, and I felt like they're very easy to sympathise with, and like I say, I really feel like you watch them grow and you root for them and you want to see this relationship develop a bit more. These are just two teens who over the course of the film develop a friendship that turns into a romance, and you really get to watch that on screen, and it's something magical to watch happen. Hodaka and Hina are supported through the film by an excellent cast of supporting characters. You have Kisuke, who is played by Lee Pace in the English. He is a middle-aged man who takes Hodaka in when he comes to Tokyo and gives him a job, and he is joined by Natsume, who works with him, and to spoil anything of their relationship or to say anything more would be going too far into spoilers territory. I feel like you need to experience that for yourself, so I'll not say any more. And we also have Nagase, who is Hina's younger brother, and he is played by Emeka Guindo. And also a special shout out to Rain the cat. Best cat. Now, Weathering with You is set in Tokyo in the middle of a prolonged period of rain. And to say that Tokyo felt like a living, breathing, a real character within the world would be an understatement. The imagery used and the way that the world is built up and shown on screen is absolutely superb. Even small moments like a train passing overhead and the traffic lights reflecting in the pools below, it creates a sense of atmosphere. It's bursting with personality. The rainfall just adds to that atmosphere, and when I was watching it reminded me of being at home wrapped in a blanket and watching the rain hit against the windows while leaden skies are overcast, and it was a very kind of cosy feeling at times. But on the same side of that, you also got a loneliness in it, and it really captures how big and kind of hustling and bustling a metropolis can be, and at times you really did feel lonely watching the film as the characters moved around going their separate ways at times. Now, it wouldn't be a Makoto Shinkai film without some absolutely superb set pieces, and one particularly near the end of the film, which I won't spoil, but it really gave me Spirited Away vibes. It was a combination of the visuals, the situation that the characters were in, and the music used. It really evoked Spirited Away of all things. You'll hopefully understand when you watch the film which scene I'm talking about, and possibly why I drew that comparison. Now that brings me on to the sound, which is another fantastic element in the film, whether it be the soundtrack or just the sound direction, the ambient sounds, to the voice acting. The voice acting's superb. Everything comes together in a wonderful way. The sound design in particular, even in just the still quiet moments, the small noises all kind of gel together to really add to the texture of the world. You really believe that this is a world that is inhabited by real people. Now, I watched the film in English. I watched the English dub, and I have to say that the English voice cast did an absolutely fantastic job, which hopefully comes as no surprise considering how well done the English voice track was done for Your Name. They've done another fantastic job here. Shout out in particular to Lee Pace and Alison Brie, who play Kisuke and Natsumi respectively. Whenever they're on screen, the two characters just come together and like ooze charisma and personality, and it's really fun to watch them go back and forth. Now, that's not to say I didn't have a few issues with the film. I thought that the romance between the two characters felt a little forced at times, and it's not that I didn't root for the characters, it was more just that I felt like it wasn't allowed enough time to breathe and develop through the film. Sometimes when they came together and it kind of pushed the romance element on, it didn't quite feel earned. But that's not to say that I wasn't happy with where the film went and where it ended up. It felt a little rushed at times, and I think that's the main issue I had with the film overall. You had some scenes that seemed to drag out and take up quite a lot of time, and then you had other scenes where it probably would have done better to kind of give them a bit more space, but it didn't, because they needed to get onto the next plot point and the next story beat and move on, and all to service the plot. So you have this juxtaposition between some kind of very slow, peaceful scenes which were good but could have been a little bit shorter, and then you have these scenes where you wanted a bit more and it didn't give you it because it wanted to move on to the next thing. Just a small grievance, and I won't go into spoilers, but there were some things that happened towards the end of the film that just aren't addressed, and it kind of took me out of it a little bit. Now, that's not to say with these minor criticisms, I don't think it brings down the overall enjoyment that I had of the film. I think they're just minor things that they are what they are, but I think overall as a whole the film was fantastic, and I would recommend, if you can catch it in cinemas before it goes off, definitely pick up a ticket and go. But failing that, the Blu-ray release, I'll be excited to kind of get it on Blu-ray and watch it again, and possibly give the Japanese voice track a go as well. So to summarise, Weathering with You is another fantastic coming-of-age story from Makoto Shinkai that is set against the absolutely gorgeous backdrop of a rain-soaked Tokyo. There were some minor plot points that I had issue with. The pacing was a little off, and some things were left unresolved that I would have liked to see resolved. But overall, I would absolutely wholeheartedly recommend that if you can get to the cinema to see this before it goes off. I know in the UK it's got a few days left. If you can get to go and see it, definitely do so. But if not, pick it up on Blu-ray. You will not be disappointed with this film. Thank you so much for watching. If you have seen Weathering with You, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought. Did you agree with the criticisms that I had, or do you think it was perfect all round, or did you find things even more wrong with it than me? Let me know in the comments. And if you liked the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you would subscribe to the channel, it would mean so much to me. I've been Northern Soul Reaper, and until next time, goodbye.